Hello, students. Today we will study a new chapter, The Heavenly Parasol. It is the first chapter from your textbook, and let's see what the story tells us about. There was once a beautiful princess in the town of Pragjyotisha called Amrita Prabha. When she came of age, the king held a Swayamvara to enable her to choose her husband. Many illustrious suitors, lured by tales of Amrita Prabha's beauty, assembled there. There was a beautiful princess in one town, and the town name was Pragjyotisha, and the princess' name was Amrita Prabha. And when she was of her age, when she came of age, the king had held a Swayamvara. So, what is a Swayamvara? So, in ancient India, there was a practice of choosing a husband from among a list of suitors, and it was when the girl was of a marriageable age. So, here the king had arranged a Swayamvara for the princess Amrita Prabha. So, many suitors had gathered there. They had heard the tales or stories of Amrita Prabha's beauty, and just because of that, many people had come there to be her husband. Among them was Meghavahana, the great grandson of a former king of Kashmir. Amrita Prabha shyly cast her eyes over the court and wondered whom she would choose. To Meghavahana's surprise, the princess stopped before him and put the garland around his neck. He rose to his feet, unable to contain his joy. Now, among the suitors who had gathered there was one more person, and his name was Meghavahana. And this person was a great grandson of a king of Kashmir. So, Amrita Prabha, she shyly cast her eyes, that is, she looked around to see who had come and who she had to choose. So, she was nervous. And to Meghavahana's surprise, what happened was the princess stopped right in front of him and she put a garland around his neck. That is, she chose Meghavahana as her husband. And Meghavahana was very happy with this, so he couldn't control his happiness. He was very happy, so he rose to his feet. He stood on his feet. The couple moved forward to seek the king's blessings. As the king stepped down from his throne, the priest cried out in surprise, "Your Honor, the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over the prince." The couple moved forward, that is, Amrita Prabha as well as Meghavahana both came front and they went and took the blessings of the king. As the king stepped down from his throne, as he came down from his throne, what happened? The priest, he cried out in surprise. He shouted. And what did he shout? "Your Honor, the parasol of Varuna has cast its shadow over the prince." So, what is parasol? So, parasol is nothing but a light umbrella used to give shade from the sun. And what is cast? Spread, act of throwing something. So, here the priest said that the shade of Varuna has fallen or cast his shadow over the prince. "It is true," exclaimed the king. "My son, you are favored by the gods." So the king too observed it and he was very happy and he too said it. "Yes, it is true. My son, you are favored by the gods." That is, gods are very happy with you. Meghavahana looked up in surprise, wondering at the meaning of these words. All at once, he saw by his side a beautiful, dazzling white parasol with exquisite decorations that was casting its shadow over him. But Meghavahana, he did not know what was happening. So he was surprised. And what did he do? He just looked up to see what is the meaning of these words that they are saying. And all at once, what happened? He saw by his side a beautiful, dazzling white parasol with exquisite decorations. So it was a shade, a white, dazzling, it was shining shade. And exquisite meaning is extremely beautiful or delicate. So when he looked at it, he realized that what they are saying was true. This is the parasol of Varuna, the lord of the seas, explained the king. It casts its shadow on none else but a sovereign of the whole world. You are destined for glory and brilliance. So the king says that, or he explained to everyone or to Meghavahana that this parasol is of Varuna, the lord of the seas, and he has cast the shadow on none else but a sovereign of the whole world. What's a sovereign, or who is a sovereign? A person holding the highest power, and that is you, my son, to his son in law. So he's telling you are destined for glory and brilliance. That is, you deserve it, and that's why you have got this from the Lord. Dazed by these portents and by his good fortune, Meghavahana brought his bride and the divine parasol back home. Now, Meghavahana, looking at that, he was dazed. What is dazed? Surprised and confused. And by the portent. What is portent? The sign or a warning of an unpleasant future event. So he was a little confused. But then what happened? Meghavahana, he brought his bride and the divine parasol back home. With the bride, he came back home along with the parasol that he was casted with. Upon his return, the ministers of the Kashmir court sought him out and offered the throne to him. We are dissatisfied with our present ruler, they said. He has devoted himself to a life of prayer, and the affairs of the kingdom lie neglected. The people suffer because of this. Your noble character and bravery are well known in these parts. Honor us and the land by accepting our offer. And when he returned back, what happened? The ministers of the Kashmir court, they came there and they wanted his help, and they offered him the throne or the rulership. The reason that they said was, we are dissatisfied with our present ruler. So they were not happy with their present ruler. So he said, or they said, the ministers of Kashmir, they said that he has devoted himself to a life of prayer, and the affairs of the kingdom, they lie neglected. That is, the present ruler, he is devoting his entire time towards prayer, and he is not giving importance to the problems of the kingdom, and that's why everyone are facing problems. The people are suffering, and we know that you are a very good person, you have a good character and brave, you are known for your bravery. So it will be an honor to us if you accept our offer and you become the king for us. Meghavahana became the king of Kashmir. Soon he proclaimed a law against the killing of living beings. It became his ambition to conquer other kingdoms, to impose this law on them as well. So what did Meghavahana do? He agreed. He took that offer and he said, fine, I'll be the king of your place. And he became the king of Kashmir. And soon he proclaimed, or he put a rule or a law that killing of living beings or human beings is prohibited. He had put a stop on it, and it became his ambition, his dream, to conquer other kingdoms so that he can impose this law, or he can put this law for them also. That is, killing of living beings should be stopped. Once, while on an expedition near the sea, the king told his weary army to rest in the shade of some palm groves. I must use this time to plan a way to conquer the island of Lanka, he thought. It is the land of demons and need to be taught the ways of peace. But how will I cross the great seas with my army? So once when he was in an expedition, that is a trip near the sea, the king told his army that they were very tired, where he is tired. So he told them to take rest in the shade of some trees. And Meghavahana, he sat in one corner and he was thinking that he should use this time, instead of wasting, he should make a plan to conquer the island of Lanka. So he was thinking of that, and he was telling that Lanka island is a land of demons, that is evil things, and it needs to be taught the ways of peace, or how we can correct it. So, and he was thinking how he could help, or how he could make his great army, the brave army, to cross those seas, the huge sea. All of a sudden, there was a cry in the air. It seemed to come from a wood by the shore, not far from where the royal horses were tethered. The cry came again, and the king heard the plaintive call, even under Meghavahana's rule, "I have been slain." But all of a sudden, what happened? There was a cry. He heard someone crying, and it seemed to come from a wood by the shore. It was not very far from where they had stopped. What is tethered? Tying an animal with a rope or chain so as to restrict its movement. So it was not far from where the royal horses were stopped or tied up. Now the cry came again. He could hear it, and this time he heard, "Even under Meghavahana's rule, I have been slain." He heard this. What is slain? Kill violently. In his agitation, the king did not wait to summon his officers but ran towards the wood. Plunging through the undergrowth, he fought his way till he came to a clearing. There, before him, was a temple of Chandika, Durga, with some sort of human sacrifice in progress on the steps. A man lay on the ground, his arms raised for mercy, and a menacing looking barbarian stood over him, brandishing his sword. Now the king was in agitation. What is agitation? A disturbed state of mind. He was confused. He did not know what to do. So he did not wait for his officers or his army. So what did he do? He just ran towards the wood to see what was wrong. And plunging through the undergrowth, that is jumping, fighting through that, he made a way, and finally he reached a place, and there it was the temple of Chandika, that is Durga, and there was some human sacrifice going on. It was in progress. So a man was lying on the ground and his arms were raised in order of asking mercy from the Almighty, from the God. And in front of him there was a barbarian. Now who is a barbarian? He's a primitive or a very cruel human being. Okay, so this barbarian was standing right in front of that man, and he was having his sword. He was brandishing his sword. What is brandishing? Displaying his sword. "Stop!" cried the king, shocked at the sight. "You wretch, you dare threaten another's life in my name?" The barbarian dropped his sword in terror and fell on his knees before the king. "O noble one, have mercy. I am the leader of a troop of barbarians that live in this wood. My little son has fallen prey to some disease and is on his deathbed. If I kill this man, the gods will be pleased and save my son's life. If you prevent this sacrifice, my son dies, and the rest of my troop will give up their lives with him." Now Meghavahana, he was very shocked at this sight. So he wanted to stop it. So he just shouted, "Stop!" He cried. And then he got very angry and he said, "You wretch, you dare threaten another's life in my kingdom, in my realm? How can you do it? You went against my law." What did the barbarian do? He got scared and he put down his sword, and he was so scared and he fell on his knees in front of the king. And he said, "O noble one, have mercy. Please forgive me. I am the leader of a troop of barbarians that live in this wood. I am the leader of that troop. I am the leader of that group. And my little son has fallen prey. He is suffering with some disease. And he is on his deathbed. That is, he might die. And if I did not kill this man, if I did not sacrifice this man, the gods will not be happy. So I have to kill this man. And the gods will be very happy with me, and they will save my son. And if you stop this sacrifice, if you stop this person, then what happens? My son will die, and the rest of my group, or that entire team of mine, they will also give their lives with him for my son.